welcome back to the Peach Patch. So today we are starting something a little different. We're going to start a history series, and it's going to be our Patch Perambulations. And history is another one of the things that I really enjoy. And so we're going to go around, see what history we can document. And today we're going to start with the Beaver County Industrial Museum, which is a museum in Darlington, PA. So let's see what we can learn. Hope you enjoy. Okay everybody, so we're here at the Beaver County Industrial Museum, and they are going to give us a little tour.
I'm Judy Cleary. I'm one of the board members out here at the Beaver County Industrial Museum. I've been a glass collector for close to 50 years.
Wow.
Obviously my passion and my love, other than my family and my work.
Wow. Okay.
So before steel was king in Beaver County and the major employer, glass was king. In the 19th century, glass was the biggest employer in Beaver County. In the 20th century, it was steel. So we were king before the big king. Moving on to our glass, this is Co-operative Flint. This was in the lower end of Beaver Falls, where Moultrie Steel used to be. That's all been torn down now. There's no buildings or anything to show where Co-operative Flint was, but that's basically the area behind where Moultrie Steel used to be. These glass companies were close to the river because it was a good mode of transportation, way to ship things. Co-operative Flint started in 1879. It was one of the first glass cooperatives. Actually, one of the glass companies south of Pittsburgh was on strike, and some of the workers from there came upriver and wanted to start their own glass company. They cooperated with the Harmonist Society, which owned a lot of land and everything in Beaver Falls, had a lot of money, and so they lent them the money to start the glass company. After a few years, somebody else bought it. It wasn't a cooperative anymore, but that's how it's got its name. They made the beautiful pressed glass patterns, most of them in crystal, but sometimes they were made in color. This was made to mimic the cut glass that was becoming popular for the wealthy people. This was glass for the everyday person. This is glass that if it were being made today, we'd buy it at Walmart, what used to be Woolworths, 20 years ago, that kind of thing. When you get into the elegant glass, you're talking things that would be at Macy's, that kind of thing. Besides the glassware, they also made some of the kerosene lamps because most people weren't electrified yet at that early stage. They did make some colors like that dark green there, but the colors became popular more into the 1920s. Now they also made this color blue and that green, but again, for the most part, crystal was what people wanted and crystal's what they made. In the 20s, the colors became popular. They started making some luncheon and dinnerware sets, sandwich tray in the back for the little cookies and that kind of thing, if you were entertaining. Console sets were popular then. In those days, your dining room was your biggest room in the house, but you usually only used it for special occasions and Sundays. But almost everybody had a console set to make their table look pretty in the meantime. Maybe a lace tablecloth and then a console set on top. This is a rose petal jar. We know about potpourri. Well, they didn't have a fancy name like potpourri, but they did want to collect the petals and that was, to collect the rose petals. And then when you wanted to refreshen the smell in your living room, you took the lid off and you got the smell of the roses.
That's cool.
Co-op was known for a lot of their specialty items. They did a lot of plates like that one in the back commemorating certain things. This little heart-shaped, it's called a pickle plate. That is called the lily plate because it commemorated a European actress, Lily somebody or other. I don't even remember her last name. But, they did a lot of commemorative pieces. Their animals are collectible today. They did a whole series of glass animals. The only one that isn't in this collection is a bear. He's a seated bear, about the same size as those. But those are kind of neat to look for. They did a sunset glass, like this piece right here, this red that shades to the yellow. It's a type of amberina glass, and all different companies made amberina glass. The difference between theirs and every other company's is amberina glass is all translucent, transparent. This is not. You'll see how where it shades, how it goes opaque. It's almost solid. And we're not really sure, it was a heat process of some sort, but we're really not sure what they put in their formulas to make their amberina type glass different than anybody else's. So that's one of the unique characteristics of that.